trip to Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Cumberland, Maryland. The priest at Emmanuel was a man named Edward Bo Chapman. Bo, a historian at heart, was our tour guide and led us on what turned out to be an extremely memorable experience. Emmanuel Church, a beautiful facility, sat perched high on the hill overlooking the Potomac River and was built over the ruins of what once was an old British fort named Fort Cumberland. The earthworks, an extensive network of tunnels and storage rooms for food stores and munitions remain there on the church's campus. In 1841, a baby boy by the name of Samuel Denson was born, enslaved, on a plantation in Vicksburg, Mississippi. The plantation's owner's practice was to lease his enslaved workers to people in the town following the last harvest of the season. There, these enslaved people would build buildings and perform other tasks in the growing city. By the time Samuel was 12 years of age, he too had been leased out to the city of Vicksburg. But this 12-year-old seized the opportunity to make good his escape. Determined to be free, he made his way more than 1,000 miles on foot, all alone, to Cumberland, Maryland. Cumberland was the terminus of each east-west-bound railroads, as well as the C&O Canal with Georgetown at the southern end of the canal. So there on the Potomac, at the canal's end, a shanty town had grown up, where there were saloons and brothels and shacks where canal workers, railroad workers, free blacks, and to quote my internet source, lowlifes lived. This was a natural hiding place for someone on the run, unquote. Young Samuel made his way north by way of the Underground Railroad and found safe harbor there in the shantytown. At that time, the rector of Emmanuel Episcopal Church was an abolitionist by the name of Reverend David Hillhouse Buell. Buell had been active at other Underground Railroad stations in Sykesville and in Westminster, Maryland. Young Samuel Denson found his way to Emmanuel Church, which was just 4 miles south of the Mason-Dixon line and Freedom. But rather than continuing north those 4 miles to Freedom, Samuel made another life-changing decision to risk everything, including being captured and returned to enslavement and maimed or hobbled or worse. Samuel remained there pretending to be a freedman. Reverend Buell made Samuel the church sexton. One of the sexton's duties was to keep the furnace running with its steam lines that ran through the tunnels beneath the church to the rectory and to an academy building, warming all of those facilities. Another task was to ring the church bell hourly. As other once enslaved persons on the run made their way to the shantytown, they were told to remain hidden until they got a signal to go to the church. The signal was Samuel ringing the bell in a coded way. At 1 o'clock in the morning, Samuel rang the bell twice, signaling the coast was clear. Much wasn't made of an ignorant Negro who could not tell time or count. The escapees, hearing the signal, made their way to the church where they were welcomed by Samuel, warmed in the tunnel by the steam pipes, and fed by Reverend Buell. There they would rest before making the trek north to Freedom. Emmanuel Church was the last stop on the Underground Railroad in the territory where enslavement of human beings was legal. Dr. Raymond Doggart of Howard University, author of the book Hidden in Plain View, visited Cumberland in the year 2000. His book tells how innocent-looking quilts were actually used as road maps to guide those once enslaved on their journey to freedom. One such quilt included a square with a symbol representing a church on a hill and indicating that bells would be rung as a signal, the very task of Station Master Samuel Denson. After the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment, Samuel became a barber. He married Maria Denson and raised a family having 6 children there in Cumberland, Maryland. Samuel died at the age of 87 in 1928.
Put your hands together for this.